Hello and welcome to Spectrum News at 9. My name is Xavier Robert, coming to you live from the beautiful hills of Ibiakuran. Let's take a look at the headlines. Federal government calls for urgent protection of solid minerals from illegal miners. CJN warns magistrates against inducement and gratification. Plus, EU's Foreign Affairs Chief anticipates new sanctions agreement. Details of these stories and more in a moment. First in our news tonight, Minister of Mines and Steel Development Olamilekan Adebite has called for urgent protection and the nation's solid minerals from illegal miners. The minister made the call during a courtesy visit to the Commandant General of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) Ahmed Aldi at the Corps National Headquarters in Abuja. Adebite, who commended the Corps for being exceptional in performance, said there was a need to protect the nation's solid minerals from the illegal miners to prevent huge economic losses and maximize profits. He affirmed that solid minerals like gold, lead, limestone, diamond, and lithium were the United Nations has tasked Nigerian leaders on intensifying their approach towards taming insecurity in the country. The bloc advocated the adoption of a preventive security deployment in all facets of the country as one of the best approaches to address issues bordering on insecurity in Nigeria. The UN's resident coordinator and representative of the UN Secretary General in the Caged Republic, Ozone Ojielo, made the call during a seminar on agenda for peace building in Nigeria, organized by the Institute for Peace and Conflict Resolution in Abuja. Bemoaning the spate in criminal activities in the nation, Ojielo said adopting a preventive security model would ensure grounds were prepared for other actors with the mandate capacity, skills, and experience to step in. In a separate development, the National Population Commission has commenced master's training ahead of the trial census slated for June. The executive chairman of the commission, Nasser Kwara, who declared the training open in Ado, Nasarawa State, said it was part of the pre-census activities for trainers. Kwara said it was a process in which all census operations were tested in a detailed and comprehensive manner. He said the trial census, also known as the census dress rehearsal, took place ideally and as a matter of best practice 1 year ahead of the actual census date. According to him, the trial census tests all phases of the main census, from planning to execution, logistics arrangement and management, and questionnaire design. Judiciary Chief Justice of Nigeria Tanko Muhammad has cautioned magistrates and judges of lower courts in the country against monetary gratification and all forms of inducement. Justice Muhammad gave the charge at the National Judicial Institute Abuja while declaring open the 2022 induction course for newly appointed magistrates and other judges of the lower courts. He said the inducement brought disrepute in the discharge of duties. In a related speech, the administrator of the National Judicial Institute, Justice Salisu Abdullahi, reminded the participants of the crucial role they were expected to play in society and the need to balance conflicting interests in ensuring a stable polity. Still on the judiciary, the Federal High Court in Abuja has remanded a former governor of Imo State, Rochaso Okorocha, in the custody of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Justice Inyang ordered his remand following the arraignment of the former governor in court by the anti-graft agency. He also adjourned the case until tomorrow for hearing of the bail application filed by Okorocha, who currently represents Imo West Senatorial District in the National Assembly. The former governor is being tried on a 17-count charge to the tune of 2.9 billion naira filed against him by the anti-graft agency. Recall that he was accused of conspiring with others, including a member of the APC and 5 companies, to steal from public coffers, although he has since denied any wrongdoing. In the meantime, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) has arrested a former governor of Zamfara State, Abdulaziz Yari. Reports say the former governor was arrested for his alleged role in the 84 billion naira fraud involving a former Accountant General of the Federation, Ahmed Idris. According to the report, the anti-graft agency also arrested one Anthony Yaro, who is the chairman and managing director of Phoenix Professional, the company through which former Governor Yari allegedly benefited from the fund. Yari's arrest came barely a day after he won the ticket of the All Progressives Congress to contest for one of the 3 senatorial district seats of Zamfara State in the National Assembly. Meanwhile, detectives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) have made discoveries about some transactions in the office of the Accountant General of the Federation. The detectives said, although the AGF was initially accused of alleged 80 billion naira fraud, findings have unveiled another 90 billion naira scam. Reports say Idris, who was battling for bail, has opened up on some top government officials allegedly involved in some transaction, as the EFCC has grilled a permanent secretary in connection with some deals in which he was implicated. According to the report, the scope of the ongoing probe of the suspended Accountant General has reached 170 billion naira. In politics, ahead of the presidential primary of the All Progressives Congress scheduled to take place between June 6 and 8, the ruling party today commenced the screening of the aspirants. The ruling party appointed the former national chairman of the party, John Oyegun, as chairman of the Presidential Screening Committee. Recall that 28 presidential aspirants had obtained the nomination and expression of interest forms of the ruling party. However, 5 of the aspirants have pulled out, leaving 23 aspirants to slug it out for the party's ticket. Still in politics, the People's Democratic Party (PDP) presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar has met with some of the party's presidential aspirants. Atiku met with former governor of Ekiti State Ayodele Fayose and the Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike, whom he defeated during the PDP's primary election on Saturday in Abuja. The meeting is said to have been a fans meeting parley between the former vice president and the PDP presidential aspirants. Atiku had polled a total of 371 votes to defeat his closest challenger, Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State, who garnered 237 votes. Meantime, former governor of Anambra State and 2019 vice presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Peter Obi, has emerged as presidential candidate of the Labour Party. This comes after Pat Utomi stepped down for Obi. Utomi, who addressed delegates at the National Convention of the party held in Asaba, the Delta State capital, said Obi should be given the opportunity to govern the country. He said the time to change the country had come and promised to bring other political parties to join forces with the Labour Party in the 2023 general election. Okay, reports reaching our desk now is that the Methodist Church prelate, His Eminence Samuel Uche, kidnapped yesterday along two other clerics by suspected headsmen on the Lokpa axis of the Enugu-Port Harcourt Expressway, has regained his freedom. He was released along with other victims this evening. Police Public Relations Officer in charge of Abia State, Geoffrey Ogbonna, confirmed this to Newsman. In education, the National Examinations Council (NECO) has extended the registration period of the 2022 Senior School Certificate Examination for school-based candidates to midnight of Monday, June 20. In a statement, the examination agency urged state ministries of education, principals, commandants, and all stakeholders to note that there would be no further extension after that. It noted that the 2022 NECO Senior School Certificate Examination will commence on Monday, June 27 and end on Friday, August 12. Still in education, the Joint Admissions and Matriculations Board, JAM, says it will further screen 27,105 results of candidates who wrote the 2022 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination. The board also noted that 1,783 candidates who experienced biometric challenges were being investigated to ascertain their claims. In its weekly bulletin from the Office of the Registrar, JAMB noted that 1,707,626 had sat for the exercise. It said the results of 1,671,203 candidates had so far been released. The board added that the 2022 foreign UTME would take place in the German capital of Berlin, UK's capital London, Saudi Arabian capital Jeddah, and the United capital New York as part of its international policy on test administration to attract more foreign candidates to the nation's tertiary institutions. Away from that, in Lagos State, the government has partnered Finland to boost its comprehensive schools. Reports say the comprehensive schools program was launched last year as Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu conceived the partnership. Select teachers and coordinators were sent on a 2-week training at the Tampere University Applied Sciences in Finland in partnership with the country. The program, which began on April 18 and ended on May 1, aimed at pick-up methodologies and strategies to be incorporated into the comprehensive schools program for the best results. Back here, the family of late Benedict Usoro gathered over the weekend in a ceremony officiated by the Apostolic Church, Nigeria Township District, Ikotekpene area to celebrate the life and times of their father, brother, and uncle. The community and people from all walks of life turned out in their number to bid the elder statesman farewell. A correspondent brings the rest of the report.
Mr. Pius Benedict Usoro, a man referred to by all as a Tayflower and Owemem, was gracefully put to rest on the 28th of May, with his immediate family and children painting a great color to his life and the farewell event. Late Benedict was epitomized for his responsiveness to responsibility, living an exemplary life and deliberately investing in the lives of all those he came across. A man who is said to have great value for family life and education. The officiating minister of the Apostolic Church Nigeria, in his message, encouraged the family to hold firm to God, righteousness, and the tenets of brotherhood the late Usoro upheld and forge ahead as a united family. Born in 1947, it can be said that late Pius Usoro lived his time well on earth. Speaking with Spectrum Television, family and attendees shared their farewell messages.
This is my dad's funeral, and as you can see, he was very loved by everybody, and he instilled the importance of education on us, and we are very, very sad that he has passed on.
We miss our father, but we are happy that we are celebrating him today. He was a great and kind man. Rest in peace, Daddy.
We are so pleased to be here to celebrate the life of my dad. It's been a blessing because I would say he lived a good life.
It's a sad situation that my oldest friend has left me behind, but all of us will meet again by God's grace.
For Spectrum Television, I am Uyai Anekan.
In a separate development, Akwa Ibom State Governor Udom Emmanuel has congratulated former Vice President Atiku Abubakar on his emergence as the 2023 presidential flag bearer of the PDP. In a release signed by the governor, he equally congratulated all the presidential aspirants for their doggedness, maturity, and the sense of sacrifice and patriotism demonstrated before, during, and after the primaries. He particularly thanked the governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, for a very hot chase, which earned him the second place at the primaries. According to Governor Emmanuel, the aspirants ran the race like brothers and had agreed from the onset that the PDP was commissioned to rescue and restore Nigeria, while the victory of the winner at the presidential primaries will be a victory for all. Governor Emmanuel therefore expressed optimism that Atiku had the capacity to rescue the country from insecurity, economic gloom, and disunity. He urged all party members and Nigerians to rally support for the emergence of Atiku Abubakar as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria come 2023. Still to come in the news. CJN pushes strategic communication against Ponzi schemes. Do stay with us. Many thanks for staying tuned. Now in Africa, where forces from Ethiopia's embattled region of Tigray say fighting has broken out again with neighboring Eritrea. A senior figure in the Tigrayan People's Liberation Front, Getachew Reda, said the clashes took place last week. He accused Eritrea of trying to escalate tensions. The Tigrayan military said Eritreans also shelled the town of Shiraro over the weekend. Still in Africa, archaeologists in Egypt have discovered new ancient artifacts at the Saqqara archaeological site around 19 miles from Cairo. According to the Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities website, they include hundreds of coffins and statues and date back to around 500 BC. It said the treasures would be displayed at the Grand Egyptian Museum in Giza. Reports say some of the other items found included an untouched papyrus makeup, including coal and jewelry, such as bracelets. Elsewhere, United Nations Human Rights Office has urged the transitional authorities in Guinea to revoke a ban on public protests. Earlier this month, the country's military rulers reportedly issued a statement prohibiting gatherings in public places. Opposition parties and civil society activists had expressed concern about the measures. The UN's human rights spokesperson for Africa, Saif Moganga, said the restrictions violated international norms and constituted a setback for democracy. It could be recalled that in September last year, Guinea's President Alpha Condé was ousted in a military coup, and the leader of the takeover, Mamadi Doumbouya, sworn in as interim president a month later. Away from that, the junta in charge has warned of an imminent militant attack in the capital N'Djamena amid tension due to opposition protests. Communication Minister Abderrahman Koulamala said there was a high terrorist alert in the city of N'Djamena, which had forced the government to ban all public demonstrations. Koulamala added that the alert followed reports that 3 terrorists had managed to infiltrate N'Djamena over the weekend. He said the suspected militants were still at large. In another development, rights group Amnesty International have welcomed the announcement of a vote by lawmakers in the Central African Republic to abolish the death penalty. The group described the vote as good news and urged President Faustin Touadera to issue it as law. The last official execution in the Central African Republic reportedly to take place in 1981. To Sudan now, where a leading general has lifted a state of emergency that was imposed in the country following the October coup he led. The decision by General Abdel Fattah Burhan, head of Sudan's ruling Sovereign Council, came hours after the Security and Defense Council, Sudan's highest body that decides on security matters, suggested that it be lifted. On the foreign scene, EU's Foreign Affairs Joseph Borrell says he is confident that the bloc will reach an agreement on its 6th sanctions package. He suggested that this could come at the summit in Brussels, taking place today and tomorrow. European Council President Charles Michel also said the time was now to decide on a Russian oil embargo. He conceded that it was not an easy decision, but had to be made. A compromise proposal would see seaborne imports targeted first and pipelines later. However, the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen had earlier said her expectations were low and that the outstanding issues could be solved in the next 48 hours. In a related development, hundreds of Lithuanians have contributed to a fundraiser to buy an advanced military drone for Ukraine in its war against Russia, in a show of solidarity with a fellow country formerly under Moscow's rule. The target of €5 million was raised in 3.5 days in Lithuania, a country of 2.8 million people, largely in small amounts to fund the purchase of a Bayraktar TB2 unmanned aerial vehicle from Turkey. Reports say the fundraising drive was launched by a Lithuanian internet broadcaster. Still on the foreign scene, Turkey and the European Union will hold a political dialogue in Ankara tomorrow. The Turkish Foreign Ministry announced this in a statement today. The statement noted that the two sides would exchange views on Turkey-EU relations as well as regional and international issues. Elsewhere, Israel and the United Arab Emirates will sign a free trade agreement in Dubai tomorrow. This was made public in a statement by Israel's Economy Ministry. The ministry said under the deal, customs duties will be eliminated on 96% of products, including food, agriculture, cosmetics, medical equipment, and medicine. It could be recalled that the UAE and Israel formally established relations in 2020 as part of the US-brokered Abraham Accords that also included Bahrain and Morocco. The trade deal is set to be Israel's first with an Arab country. Away from that, the Palestinian presidency has rejected the remarks of Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett, in which he said Jerusalem was a unified city. Palestinian presidential spokesman Nabil Rodane said East Jerusalem and all its holy sites would remain the eternal capital of the State of Palestine under the United Nations resolutions and international law. He said security and stability would never be achieved in the region as long as Israel continued its war on Palestinians and their land. Rodane added that the only way to achieve stability and everlasting peace was to gain the legitimate rights of Palestinians, mainly establishing an independent Palestinian state with East Jerusalem as its capital. Now in Nepal, rescuers have so far recovered 20 bodies from the crash site of a small plane carrying 22 people. According to an official to media, the wreckage of the plane operated by Nepali carrier Tara Air was recovered in Mustang district in northern Nepal. The passenger plane was on a 20-minute flight when it lost contact with air traffic control 5 minutes before it was due to land. The country's Civil Aviation Authority spokesman Dio Chandra Lal Khan told media that the search is ongoing for the remaining passengers. Now in our business news, the Central Bank of Nigeria is intensifying its public awareness campaign to dissuade Nigerians from falling victim. This is against the backdrop of continued operation of illegal financial institutions and Ponzi schemes in the Nigerian economy. It also comes in addition with collaboration with security agencies and other financial sector regulators to stem the tide of the unwholesome financial system. Meanwhile, Central Bank of Nigeria (CBN) has visited the Eko Electricity Distribution Company as part of its monitoring and evaluation tour of the CBN-funded intervention facilities for electricity distribution companies in Nigeria. The Apex Bank team was led by the Director of Development Finance, Yusuf Yila, Director of Strategy Management, Clement Buari, and the Director of Trade and Exchange, Ozoimena Naji. In a statement by the EKEDC spokesperson, Godwin Idemudia, the CBN was quoted as saying that it embarked on several performance improvement projects to reduce the various challenges plaguing the electricity industry in the country. Recall that the Apex Bank had intervened by funding the procurement, installation, rehabilitation and replacement of some electricity distribution infrastructure to assist the DISCO's capacity in the delivering of adequate and reliable power supply to Nigerians. Still in business, Nigeria's external reserves have hit a 7-month low after falling to $38.57 billion as of May 25. Findings have shown that the continuous decline in the country's external reserves used to defend the naira value is making the banks tighten access to foreign exchange to travelers and other legitimate users as scarcity bites harder. According to figures obtained from the CBN, the external reserves, which had been fluctuating for weeks, experienced its lowest of $39.01 billion on October 10, 2021, and $38.39 billion on October 8, 2021. Reports say due to scarcity, many banks are extending waiting period to access forex for foreign trips, thereby denying travelers with urgent trips access to apply for personal or business travel allowance. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Liquefied Natural Gas Limited has remained silent in the face of current altercation between gas marketers over price. Reports say trouble began when the President, Nigeria Liquefied Petroleum Gas Association Nuhu Yakubu, during a courtesy visit to former President Olusegun Obasanjo, ascribed increasing gas prices to the price of US dollar. Recall that gas marketers had last week attacked each other following the increasing prices of gas across the country. Still to come in the news. Todd Boehly completes £4.25 billion Chelsea takeover. Do stay with us.
Politics is a game. It is about delivering dividends of democracy. For this, accountability is key. So we listen, we follow up on the promise, and we track the progress. Watch Political Spectrum weekdays, 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., exclusive to Spectrum Television.
Many thanks for staying tuned. Now in health, where the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, says 3 herbal formulations were approved for clinical trial studies for the treatment of COVID-19 during the pandemic. It denounced the claims of the efficacy of IHP Detox Tea for the cure of COVID-19 patients purportedly made by the Chief Executive Officer of Bioresources Development and Conservative Program, Professor Maurice Wu, in a media report. The Director General of NAFDAC, Mojishola Adeyeye, said only NAFDAC could make pronouncements on the quality, safety, and efficacy of all regulated products that showed satisfactory scientific evidence. The NAFDAC boss explained that 3 herbal formulations were approved for clinical trial studies during the COVID-19 pandemic. Still in health, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has said that no fewer than 66 suspected cases of monkeypox disease have been reported in Nigeria. The NCDC disclosed this in its latest monkeypox situation report released yesterday. The agency also noted that while 21 monkeypox cases had been confirmed, only a single death had so far been reported. It is over now to Bright James for trending sports stories.
Thank you, Xavier Robert. Good evening and welcome to the Sports Desk. I am Bright James. We begin from golf, where Italy's Edoardo Molinari has been named as the second vice-captain for Europe's team at the Ryder Cup in Rome next year. Captain Henrik Stenson has confirmed Molinari, who featured alongside his brother Francesco in the Europe team that won the Ryder Cup at Celtic Manor in 2010, as a vice-captain for the next tournament. The 41-year-old will join Europe's successful captain from 2018, Thomas John, as one of Stenson's backroom team when they attempt to wrest the trophy back from the United States in September 2023 at Marco Simone Golf and Country Club. Now to tennis, where 20th seed Daria Kazatkina continuing her ruthless form at Roland Garros, defeating 28th seed Camila Giorgi 6-2, 6-2 in 1 hour 20 minutes to reach her third major quarterfinal. Former world number 10 Kazatkina has yet to drop a set and indeed has considered just 14 games in 4 matches so far. The last 8 Kazatkina will take in 29th seed Veronika Kudermetova, who took out 22nd seed Madison Keys 1-6, 6-3, 6-1 in 1 hour 41 minutes to reach her first Grand Slam quarterfinals. Now to the men's draw, where momentum is building for Casper Ruud at Roland Garros. The 8th seed fended off a strong comeback from Hubert Hurkacz to complete a 6-2, 6-3, 3-6, 6-3 victory in the 4th round earlier today to reach his maiden Grand Slam quarterfinals in Paris. Now to football, where the Todd Boehly-led consortium have completed a £4.25 billion takeover of Chelsea, ending Roman Abramovich's 19-year ownership of the club. After months of negotiations, the deal was finally approved on Wednesday morning when the government received legal guarantees that Roman Abramovich, who has had his UK assets frozen, would not benefit from the sale. The proceeds from the sale will be frozen in a UK bank account until the government has received further assurances that the money will solely go to the support humanitarian causes in Ukraine. More football stories. Steven Perisic is in London to undergo a medical at Tottenham. The 33-year-old who can play as a wing-back and a forward is set to sign a 2-year contract and become one of Antonio Conte's first signings of the summer window. Goalkeeper Fraser Forster has also agreed to join for Spurs when his deal at Southampton expires and has already completed his medical examinations. The Croatian international has 113 caps for his country and scored in the 2018 World Cup finals win at Inter since 2015. He won Serie A last season under Tottenham boss Antonio Conte after spending the 2019-2020 season on loan at Bayern Munich, where he led the UEFA Champions League. Finally, striker Robert Lewandowski said earlier today Monday that his story with Bayern Munich was over and that he could not imagine staying on with the German champions. Bayern's sporting director, Hassan, said earlier this month that Lewandowski informed the club's boss that he wanted to leave, confirming reports that Bundesliga's second highest career scorer could be on his way out despite having a contract until 2023. Lewandowski joined Bayern in 2014 from Borussia Dortmund and has won the Bundesliga every year since then, and as well as the UEFA Champions League title in 2020. The 33-year-old scored 312 goals in 384 career Bundesliga games, including breaking Bayern legend Gerd Muller's 39-year record for goals in his calendar season in 2021. And that's it from the sports desk this evening. I am Bright James. Over now to Beat Brian for entertainment news.
Thanks, Bright James. Hello and welcome to the Entertainment Desk. I am Beto Brian. First on our bulletin this evening, Helen Paul has been appointed as the head of Department of Arts, Music and Entertainment at the Hart International University, United States of America. The comedian and TV host announced the good news in a post shared on her Instagram page in the early hours of today. She shared photos from her induction and also congratulated her husband, Femi, who also graduated as a Doctor of Law from the same institution. Helen Paul wrote on Instagram, and I quote, "Congratulations to us, my love. Such a great honor for both of us. You graduated as a Doctor of Law and I was promoted too. Professor Helen Paul, now the new HOD, Department of Arts, Music and Entertainment, Hart International University, USA. Thank you all for the sleepless nights. Thank you for sacrificing for us. #grateful at @fems_bams, unquotes." Sharing a video of her induction, she captioned the post, "Congratulations to all of us at Hart University. I am now officially Professor Helen Paul." The ceremony was indeed a beautiful one, and she was indeed grateful to her boss and the University Chancellor, Donette McIntosh, PhD. She also went on to thank her senior Professor Cox of the faculty head and the HBIU staff in general, saying she would never forget to say a big thank you to the Atlanta Dean of Programming, Yemisi Dumoye, PhD. Reports first revealed that the mom of three had taken a postdoctoral study in the United States back in 2020. Helen Paul had also previously bagged a PhD in theatre arts from the University of Lagos. Moving on to our next story, where Instagram skit maker Sabinus sues Peak for using "something huge" catchphrase. The popular Nigerian comedian, skit maker and content creator Chukwuemeka Emmanuel, popularly referred to as Oga Sabinus, has threatened to sue the popular band Peak Milk over the alleged usage of his trademarked phrase "something huge." Sabinus, age 27, also threatened legal actions against UAC Foods Limited, a company that produces gala sausage, for using his brand picture and other intellectual products to make an advert and promotions for the products. A pre-suit notice dated 27th May 2022, which was signed by his lead counsel, Mr. Stanley Alieke, where the comedian demanded from Peak the payment of 5 million naira for the alleged unauthorized use of intellectual property and another 5 million naira for damages for the psychological, emotional, physical, and mental trauma he has suffered for the trademark theft and infringement of his intellectual property rights. In a pre-litigation notice to UAC Food Limited, which dates 25th May 2022, Sabinus also demanded the payment of 100 million naira for the use of his picture, which is the average fee he charges for his picture to be used for adverts and promotions. According to the comedian, a company belonging to Peak Milk, Frisla Food, Wamco Nigeria Limited PLC, used his trademark slogan "something huge" for the advert and promotion of their product Peak Milk. He revealed that the advert was made by Peak Milk on the Nigerian verified Instagram page at Peak_Milk on the 24th of May 2022. The comedian stated that the said slogan was trademarked on the 26th of November 2021 with file number NG/TM/O/2021/48316. Sabino also revealed that UAC Foods made a post on his verified Instagram handle at galasausage_roll on the 23rd of May with his picture without his consent. He revealed that the post, which was captioned, "I decalculate everything in my life," has also been one of his filed complaints. Finally, from the entertainment desk, Camila Cabello has complained about rude fans following the Champions League final performance. The singer took to her Twitter page where she voiced her frustration at the behavior of football supporters during her performance at the Stade de France in Paris. The 25-year-old singer was on stage to perform at the opening ceremony for the final between Liverpool and Real Madrid. But Cabello's voice was overpowered by thousands of Liverpool and Real Madrid fans who oversang her. She wrote on Twitter, and I quote, "Playing back our performance, and I can't believe people were singing their team's anthems so loud during our performance. Like my team and I worked tirelessly for so long to bring the night vibes and give a good show. Very rude, but whatever, I'm glad you loved it." The fans' treatment of Cabello was not the most controversial incident around the match. Prior to kickoff had been delayed by 35 minutes because of trouble outside the stadium, with a large number of supporters denied entry despite having tickets, while some supporters resorted to climbing over barriers to get into the stadium, resulting in the police using tear gas in an attempt to control the situation. The game eventually got underway and Real Madrid went on to claim the European title at the compromise of Jurgen Klopp's team, who lost 1-0 to Real Madrid. That's our package from the entertainment desk. I am Beto O'Brien, thanking you for watching.
Many thanks, Beto. Well, with that, we come to the end of the news this evening. Do ensure to follow us on social media and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all of which you can find on our website, SpectrumTv.ng. You have been watching Spectrum News at 9. My name is Xavier Robert. Do have a terrific night rest.